Hi, I'm Mark, longtime forensics coach, and I'm here to give you some tips on judging Virginia High School League competition. Right now, we're going to be looking at poetry interpretation. So, obviously, by the name, it's going to be poetry. That's what they're going to be performing for you. And by the way, let me just say, it doesn't have to rhyme. In fact, most of the poetry performed is probably more like a modern free verse, modern form of poetry. In fact, the rules basically are that if it looks like poetry on the page, versus say a novel, which would be prose, then it's poetry. So just clarify that. You may be listening to them and thinking this sounds just like a novel. Well, a lot of modern poetry is written exactly that way, and that's totally fine in competition. Also, to be clear, they must have a manuscript, so they're probably going to come in with a little binder. Doesn't say you have to have a little black binder, but that's kind of what everyone does to keep it neat and organized. And they'll have to perform with the binder. They'll have to make eye contact with the actual script. How much they make eye contact with, I mean, at this point in the season, if you're in the playoffs, then they probably won't make a ton, but you should mention to them that they should be making eye contact. That is something that they should do. But certainly it's not something that if they don't make enough eye contact, you're going to put them last or something. It's not that critical, but it is something they should be doing. And it's certainly something to keep in mind as you're judging. A couple other things. The poems could be either one of several things. One, it could be a theme. So they have a theme around something like bullying, or maybe a really serious topic like racism, or perhaps some other key event that's going on in our society. It also could be one poet. So they just have a series of poems by one author. That's fine too. Or it could just be one long poem. Any of those things are totally reasonable in poetry and allowed in poetry. A couple things that you're going to be really looking for as a judge, eye contact is huge. Most times they're not going to be playing characters like in DI, HI, or Duo where they're looking at a wall, but they might do a little of that. But they're probably going to make some good eye contact with you. The selection, the interpretation of the selection, the timing of it, the pausing, eye contact, characterization, the creativity, the gesturing, energy level, varying their volume, their pitch, their rate, their tone. Basically, what we're saying is don't be monotone. Make it interesting. Who makes their poems interesting for you to listen to? And then, of course, at the end, I mean, does it have an impact on you? I mean, do you feel it? Um, by the way, poems could be humorous or serious, although typically poems tend to be more on the serious side. There definitely are some out there that are funny, but generally it leans a little more on the serious side. And some of the stuff, just FYI, could be very serious and could be dealing with some, um, you know, teen age sort of very serious issues. So just be aware of that. Other than that, you're looking for the piece that moves you, that you think was best performed from these high school students who are coming in and performing for you. All right, so I hope you enjoy poetry interpretation, and thank you for judging.